Are you good, D? Oh. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be putting away some of my books. I've been shopping, you know how I do, and I have not put the books away properly because I have like feature videos, feature shelves and whatnot, and feature books, and I need to remajigger that so that it still looks aesthetically pleasing because I'm committed to that at this point. And not just have it like haphazardly put on the shelves, because if you can see like over here, those books don't belong there. They need to be like properly put away. So I'm gonna do that first, and then after I'm done with that, I will shop my shelves for my May TBR. So first I'm gonna tidy up the books and then we'll shop the shelves. Oh no! I feel like Alexandria House can have her own situation, right? Like she deserves that. It's special, I think it's special. Is that covering up Sexy D'Angelo? Are you good, D? Oh, you good, D Daddy? Oh Lord, help him. Then my Brittany Cherry needs to go with my Brittany Cherry. But it's real tight. Ooh, can you guys go up here? I think this can go down there in the YA section. Perfect. Where are you going to go, Jess? All right, I have finished remajiggering my bookshelves. I'm a little bit sad because I don't have as many like feature books anymore, but I just don't have the bandwidth right now to like try to majigger them any more than they're already majiggered. So this is what they look like for now, but I'm still happy with them. Like they're still cute. You're real cute like. So before I go ahead and get into the shop my shelves for the TBR for May, I decided to pull out my TBR jar. I haven't used this in I feel like a year, like seriously. And I made these prompts myself. I have some cards over there as well that I got from Etsy, but I just decided to pull one of these, just one, because I found like when I was using these TBR prompts, like I wasn't as successful in doing my TBR as I was when I shot my shelves. So just to throw it back, I'm gonna use the jar, but I am still very much gonna shop the shelves. So let's shake it up. I'm actually just gonna pour it out because I can't fit my big fat hand in there. So I'm gonna pour it out and I'm gonna mix them up. And I'm just going to pick one, right? And then I'm gonna stick with, I'm gonna say 5 books. Unless something is like really jumping out at me, I'm gonna stick to 5 books. So this is gonna be one of the 5. So a book with a flower on the cover or in the title is what the prompt says. If you can read that, but just what it says, girl. A book with a flower on the cover or in the title. So I have a book in mind. I don't know how enthusiastic I am about reading it at this moment, but let's just go ahead. I'm gonna put these prompts back and then we'll get to shopping. Okay friends, if you're new here, these 2 shelves are romance. This is urban romance or like indie published romance. These are like some old favorites. These are contemporary romance. All of these are contemporary romance here, these 3 shelves, and then this bottom shelf has most of my YA romance and then also my Kennedy Ryan. I'm not having the top shelves displayed because I've read all of those books except for the nonfiction. The top shelves are my favorite. So unless I'm planning on rereading something, like I really won't be shopping those portions. So in my mind, so far all I have is the prompt, which is a book with a flower on the cover or flower in the title. So I have one in mind. It's over a few shelves down, but if I see a book that has a flower on the cover that like is a vibe, then I'll go with that. But other than that, like, I don't know if I'm really into like urban romance. I'm always in the mood for urban romance, honestly, but I'm just catching the vibe right now. I have no clue. I don't have anything planned or any book that's sticking out in my brain that I'm like, I need to read that right now. So let's just get to shopping. So this is a section that I have changed literally just now because I bought a new series of Alexandria House, and it is like the St. Louis Cyclones basketball series. I don't know that, to be honest, I don't think Alexandria House is ever going to be on my TBR because I'm going to read her anyway, so I really don't feel like I need the gimme for like the numbers wise, because I'm already intentional about reading her stuff, so I'm not going to pick any of that. Let's see, I did just buy Rhythms Blues by Kimberly Brown. Such a gorgeous cover. I know it's far away, but I just bought this book, and it's like music meets urban romance, and that could be a vibe, honestly. But I also have kind of in that same realm, because it's urban romance, I have Losing Control. Now this is a Big Daddy, and I would be intimidated by it, but I hear this is like so good, and the font's really huge. So I don't know. I've been reading most of my urban fiction this last month on my Kindle, like on Kindle Unlimited, but I would love to show my physical books and urban fiction some love. So I'm gonna pull these two just to see. I'm gonna pull more, and then at the end I'll like reconvene and figure out what it is that I actually want to read. Down here I have the new Abby Jimenez book, Say You'll Remember Me. I just saw a couple of people talking about this one on their videos, and I don't know, like, am I particularly enthusiastic about reading it right this second? No, I'm not. I'm not even gonna hold you. It would be a forced read at this moment, so I think I'm gonna set that one down. But I guess, you know what, something that I'm gonna pick something off of this shelf that has been here for so long, and that is going to be Christina Lauren, Love in Other Words. I have heard about this book. I hear it's super cute, and I hear it's kind of like heart-wrenching, and that could be nice. That could be nice. So I'm gonna pull that for a maybe, and I think that's gonna be it from over here. We're gonna go to this shelf right here. So these are most of like my Black authors. I think actually all of them are written by Black authors, except for this new one down here by Jessa Hastings. Let me see. A lot of these I've had for a little while, and I just have never really gotten into it, or like never thought to pull them. For example, like Mickey Chambers' Shakes It Up. I have had this for so long. What is this even about? Total opposites, totally irresistible. Mickey Chambers is an expert at analyzing modern literature, but when it comes to figuring out her own story, she's feeling a little lost. At 33, she's an adjunct instructor with a meager summer class schedule and too many medical bills, courtesy of her chronic illness. Picking up a bartending gig seems perfect since, sure, Mickey's never done this before, but the gorgeous, grumpy bar owner, Diego Acosta, might be the perfect man to teach the teacher if he wasn't so stressed. Then it talks about his stress and stuff. So I don't know. Just because I feel like now I should pick a book that I've had for a while but I haven't picked up. So I was going to say this is a maybe, but I see another book on here that actually fits the prompt of a book with a flower on the cover, and I'm gonna go with A Low Country Bride by Prislasia Williams, and she's carrying like a bouquet of flowers. So I'm gonna go with this. I don't know what it's about, but it's low country, and I just read a low country book by, what is her name, Rhonda McKnight, and I'm here for it. So I'm gonna pick that one for romance, and then I think I'm probably gonna pick a couple of more. I'm gonna pick The Gravity of Us. It's been a while since I like revisited the series. This is the last book in the series, and I've been holding off on it. I think I'm gonna pick this one for a maybe, and I think that's gonna be it for romance. Anything else that I pull is just gonna be spontaneous, but let's just go ahead and get to the next section, which is contemporary fiction. All right, so this shelf is my contemporary fiction shelf. This shelf is kind of like a hodgepodge of contemporary fiction slash historical fiction slash period pieces slash everything. So we'll talk about this shelf as well. But actually, I know I'm like jumping over everything, but I see a book over here that I kind of definitely want to consider, and it is James by Percival Everett. I guess I should probably put my face in the camera. I have heard so many people talk about this book. I am definitely amongst the last people to read it, but it is highly anticipated. I just haven't prioritized it. I just bought it within like the last month or so. So I'm gonna pull this as a maybe. Then over here, do I have anything that is particularly like jumping out at me at this time? Okay, so I started reading Sky Full of Elephants this week, or yeah, this past week. I DNF'd it. Okay, if you want to know more about it, there is a reading vlog. If it's up already, I'll leave it linked down below. If not, stay tuned. Also, stay tuned because the 30th is my YouTube anniversary, and I plan on doing something really special and really fun. So make sure that you're subscribed and you come back on the 30th of April to watch that video, because I have excitement. But yeah, I started reading that book and I DNF'd it, and I'll talk about that later. But kind of in the same-ish realm, I think, is Colored Television by Danzy Senna. And I've had this for a decent while. It says a brilliant dark comedy about love, ambition, failure, reinvention, and the racial identity industrial complex from the bestseller author of Caucasia. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about this. I've seen it a million times, but it's not like I've heard glowing reviews or not glowing reviews, because this one doesn't have hype, good or bad. So maybe I'm gonna pull that one too. I do want to read a Christian fiction book. So the Christian fiction that I have is The Light on Halsey Street by Vanessa Miller and Bitter and Sweet by Rhonda McKnight. I have read from Rhonda McKnight. I hear everybody loves this book. The first book that I read from her, I very much enjoyed it as well, so I do trust that I will enjoy this one. But this one is one that I haven't heard much talk about, so I think I might want to like prioritize this one on my actual TBR. Does that mean I won't read this one? No. It's just I will prioritize. I will commit to reading this one. I will not commit to reading this one. So I'm gonna pull this. I know you're thinking, Anita, you already pulled like 10 books. What did you mean? I'm gonna narrow it down at the end, I promise. So make sure you stay to the end of the video so you can see which books I've actually narrowed it down to. That's gonna make it on my TBR. I've also had this book for a while, Mame. This is by an African author. I had my African authors like featured here before. I had to remajigger my shelves, and unfortunately I ran out of space, so I had to like integrate them in. That made me very sad. But this one says, it's fair to say Maddie's life in London is far from rewarding. With a mother who spends most of her time in Ghana, yet still manages to be overbearing, Maddie is the primary caretaker for her father, who suffers from advanced stage Parkinson's. At work, her boss is a nightmare, and Maddie is tired of always being the only black person in every meeting. So when her mom returns from her latest trip, Maddie seizes the chance to move out of the family home. A self-acknowledged late bloomer, she's ready to experience some important firsts. She finds a flat share, says yes to after-work drinks, pushes for more recognition in her career, and throws herself into the bewildering world of internet dating. But when tragedy strikes, Maddie is forced to face the true nature of her unconventional family and the perils and rewards of putting her heart on the line. I'm into this. Like, I have not read the synopsis in a very long time, probably since I purchased it. Probably, maybe not even when I purchased it. But this is giving. I think I'm going to pull that. That seems like a really fun book. And again, I haven't heard much talk about that one. And then down here at the bottom, I know the books probably look like little ants, but these are, I put more of like my classics down here. Also, I read Salt the Water. I think this was on my TBR. I got to like 95% and I DNF'd it. Like, because I was listening to it on audio because I just couldn't get into it in verse. And then by the time I was at 95%, I was like, I don't even know what's happening. Like, it was not engaging to me. So I DNF'd it, and I'm on the fence about like unhauling it because I love the cover. I love the cover. And the premise sounds really good. I want to give it another chance, but also like I'm kind of hurting for shelf space here. So this one might find its way to the donation bin, honestly. I'm gonna pull it to get donated. It makes me very sad, but yeah, there's that. Let's see. I've heard a lot about I Who Have Never Known Men. This is kind of like taking over the internet right now. And it's of interest to me, but it also seems pretty like dense. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be particularly a page turner. It's set in like 97, I think. I'm not sure. It's an older book. I think the original publication was 1995. English translation 1997. So this is a translated work, but it says deep underground 39 women live imprisoned in a cage, and it goes on from there. So it sounds intriguing, but like I don't know, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for it just yet, but it's giving the book that's really right next to it, The School for Good Mothers. I read this one last year, and this was a dystopian type of book. The mothers were going to like a reformatory school for being bad moms, from everything from leaving your toddler home alone while you go get coffee, and to posting, oh my gosh, my kids are getting on my nerves on your social media. Like, they go to this reform school for a year, and if they don't pass, then they lose custody of their kids. And even if they do pass, you could still lose custody of your kids. And it is absurd, the things that they put these women through. And there's like simulated babies and everything. So yeah, that book is making me think of this. And this one was not an easy read. It was very like upsetting and disturbing. And I don't think I want to feel that right now from the sense of motherhood. Let's see. The rest of these books down here are honestly like kind of heart-wrenching and like are going to rip you apart, and I don't think they're gonna put you back together. So I think I'm gonna leave those for now, and then we're gonna go over to the next shelf of fantasies and thrillers. Okay, you guys, I'm not even gonna hold you. Okay, let's look at these. I have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is also a big daddy. I hear this is heart-wrenching. It breaks you apart. It might put you back together. I can't remember. But I feel like I have a lot of like deep books right now. And I know I mentioned this and I do want to read it. It's highly anticipated. But also like I don't want this to be a super, super heavy month. So I don't know. And then I also have The Four Winds. Where'd that go? It's over here, The Four Winds. You can't see it, it's out of frame, but I also have that by her. And I have been kind of putting off reading both of them. I don't think so. Aaliyah, if you're watching, don't be mad. I'm gonna read them. I promise. But yeah, I'm not ready. And you can't be too mad because you know you have to be ready to pick up Kristen Hanna. Like, you have to. It can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna pick up this book and I'm gonna like catch the vibe. Like, you have to be ready, and I'm not. I'm not there. The rest of these I have read, except for this series. I'm not particularly interested in continuing it with it right now. I've read all the rest of these. I haven't read this one, but that doesn't really tickle my pickle right now. Now down here at the bottom shelf that's kind of cut off, and this shelf are my fantasy books. I don't know that there's ever been a time where I've pulled a fantasy book for my TBR and actually read it. I don't know if I really want to get into, because I don't know. Because honestly, all of these fantasy books low-key have like a darker, deeper theme of like oppression. And I don't want to read about that right now from my fantasy books. I want something with like, you know, like dragons and Medusa heads or some shit. Like, maybe I'll read the Gilded Ones. This is YA. This can't be too bad, right? It says, are we girls or are we demons? Are we going to die or are we going to survive? So these are like women warriors. And I have the whole series down here. I have had this for a while as well. Let's pull this. This seems like it might be okay. And I've heard good things about this series. We'll pull that. And we'll pull Cinderella is Dead. I've had this for so long, it's not even funny. We'll pull both of those. Let's look at this shelf. This is my historical fiction. I have been buying historical fiction faster than I have been reading historical fiction, and I am not okay with that. So I feel like I must choose a historical fiction this month. There will be a historical fiction on my TBR. And I feel like what I'm going to pick is The Sable Cloak. Harlem Rhapsody and Happy Land are highly anticipated, but I feel like everyone's kind of talking about those right now, as well as American Queen. Where'd that go? American Queen. I feel like everyone's kind of talking about these, so as to not oversaturate the conversation about these right now, I'm going to hold off. But this is the book, if you're wondering, this is the book that came to mind about the prompt with the book with flowers on it, because she has like the little flower crown, and I think the cover is gorgeous. But I think I'm not going to commit to them right now. I might read them, but I'm not going to commit at this time. But what I will read is The Sable Cloak. And this is about an affluent black family in Harlem, question mark? I'm pretty sure it's in Harlem. Oh, nope, it says Jim Crow South. But yeah, I think that one's going to be the one. And then let's go over to the thrillers. These are sci-fi right here. I'm not ready to read or commit to reading any of the sci-fi, but I feel like I could go for a thriller. So let me go over to the thriller section and then pick a thriller or two to narrow it down, and then we're gonna call it good. Well, we're going to revisit the books that I pulled, and then we're gonna narrow it down. Alrighty, here we are at the thriller shelves. I'm thinking. I just read Listen for the Lie. Personally, I feel like that was a bit overhyped, not gonna lie. I wonder about Anywhere You Run by Wanda Morris. Anywhere you run, your past will find you. It says, oh man, this is heavy. It says, gripping suspenseful novel in which, after the murder of a white man in Jim Crow, Mississippi, two black sisters run away to different parts of the country, but can they escape the secrets they left behind? I've already got books about Jim Crow South. I feel like, please, please, no more. I haven't read this, Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I have read Ace of Spades by this author. It was not a favorite. I'm pretty sure I gave it 1 or 2 stars. It was not a favorite at all. The writing style was decent, but I just didn't like the execution. Not the execution, it was like the underlying theme of the book, or maybe it was the execution. I don't know. It was something about it. Read my review on Goodreads. The Goodreads and Storygraph and Fable are always linked down below. But at the time I wasn't using those other platforms. It is posted on my Goodreads if you want to know my thoughts about Ace of Spades. But that has been why I didn't pick up this book for the longest time, because that one just really didn't tickle my pickle. But I do love Dark Academia, and it's been a hot minute since I read a Dark Academia, and this is Dark Academia. So I think I'm gonna pull this for a thriller, and this is YA, so that might be the one. And or what about You Will Never Be Me? I feel like this lady is crazy. I feel like this lady is nuts. Like, it deals with like a social media lady who tries to like steal another social media lady's like identity, something like that. Yeah, let's pull both of these, and then we're gonna go over to the reading chair and narrow down which books are actually gonna make the 5 or 6 books for the month. Okay guys, so I definitely said I was going to pick 4 to 6 books, and we've overdone it here. But that's okay, because we're going to narrow it down. So let's go through these books and get 4 to 6 books that are going to be my official May TBR. So first, let's go through and see if there's anything that I am like, I absolutely definitely don't want the month of May to end without having read this book. And first, May by Jessica George. This is a contemporary fiction book. So, and I'm not like married to having like, okay, so many romances or so many contemporary fictions or so many historical fictions or whatever. Like, I'm not married to like divvying them up to a certain, like having a certain amount per genre. So that's fine. But this is definitely one that I do want to read in May. Also sticking out to me is something that I want to read in May is The Light on Halsey Street. This is my Christian fiction book pick. It says 2 girls' lives are irrevocably intertwined the summer of 1985 on the streets of Brooklyn, New York, and neither will ever be the same in this coming of age story that spans decades. So, and this is by Vanessa Miller, who also wrote The American Queen. And also my TBR jar pick is going to be A Low Country Bride by Priscilla Williams. A reminder, the prompt was a book with flowers on the cover or in the title, and she has a bouquet of flowers because she's a bride. So that is 4 books there. Something else that I don't want the month to end without me having read is James by Percival Everett. I'm looking here. I'm looking at my romances now. And I have Love and Other Words. I have Rhythms Blues, Losing Control, and The Gravity List. I realize I don't have a single like guaranteed cute fluffy read, except for maybe Low Country Bride. This might be cute and fluffy. The rest of these seem pretty deep. So I know Brittany Cherry is gonna have me in literal tears. And as much as I hate to put this back and be like, I'm not ready to commit, I think I'm going to do so because I don't particularly want to be wrecked all month. You feel me? So that's going to be a no. Part of me really wants to pick Love and Other Words because I've had it for so long, and a lot of these books that I have pulled on my TBR this month I have had for a decent while, and I kind of just want to get through some of my older books who have been neglected. But also I hear this one is kind of heart-wrenching. It's gonna make you cry little eyeballs out as well, so I think this one is going to go back. And honestly, these 2 I am like actually interested in reading. Okay, I'm gonna go with Losing Control by Lady Nisha. I know this is one that people have been talking about nonstop, but I just need to see what it's talking about. So this might be a little bit of content overload for like, okay, there's another content creator talking about losing control, but I need to see what's going on with this. And I also, Lady Nisha has a lot of books in her catalog. So if I really like this one, I would be very interested in reading more from her, because she has a lot to get into. So far I have picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. And I have this stack here to like see, is there anything else that I'm like, I really, really want to see what it's talking about. I think I'm gonna put back Cinderella is Dead. I was just picking that because it's a fantasy, to be honest with you, and I've had it for a long time. Part of me is kind of considering putting back colored television, because like I said, it is similar, or in my head, in my spirit, it's giving similar to not Water for Elephants, Sky Full of Elephants, and I just wasn't a ginormous fan of it. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna have a bigger TBR. Okay, I'm already seeing it. Like, I'm just gonna have a bigger TBR, because all of these I kind of, okay, I'm gonna put back You'll Never Be Me. I'm gonna put this back. I do want to read Where Sleeping Girls Lie. I want to read The Gilded Ones. I want to read The Sable Cloak, and I want to read Color Television. So I'm going to commit to all of these. Now, if I don't read them all, mind your business. And if I do read them all, yay me. But we'll see on my reading wrap up. But let me go ahead and show you guys all of the books that made it to my TBR for May. Yeah, so much for 4 to 6 books, but this is it, you guys, and I'm really excited about all of these. This is kind of off the beaten path for me, but I really feel like there are going to be some good ones in here. I don't know that there's going to be a 5-star in here. Maybe James. I don't think I've heard anybody not give that a 5-star. I feel like that one might be a 5-star. I feel like these two might be 5 stars. The most anticipated read for me is probably going to be Mame and Losing Control. So those are my books for May. If you guys like this style of video where I shop my shelves, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. And remember, on April 30th, I will be having a special video. It is my YouTube anniversary, so I'll have a special video that day. So make sure you subscribe and come back and watch that video. And continue supporting my channel. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.